Thousands of students gave up their Saturday last weekend for a day of community service. The tradition that has become Bobcat Build makes a difference.
And you're going to be working in parks, at churches, in neighborhoods, at schools, putting a face on Texas State University that is just so wonderfully positive.
Volunteers did everything from raking leaves to planting and cutting trees. But their favorite part was the feeling.
You know, knowing that she needs all this work done and having all these students come out representing Texas State to help out, it feels pretty good.
Job site homeowners expressed gratitude and at times were emotional.
And it just astounds me, number one, that they have that kind of giving spirit. I hope I don't start crying here. But it's encouraging that they care enough about this community that they're willing to give up a day and work hard.
So what does it take to be a volunteer for Bobcat Build? One Saturday and a giving spirit. If you missed the opportunity to volunteer for Bobcat Build this year, keep an eye out for next year's date at bobcatbuild.txstate.edu. For Bobcat Update, I'm Trista Castillo. From kayaking at Sewell Park to playing basketball at the Student Rec Center, the Texas State campus offers many activities for students who aren't traveling far this spring break.
Like if I had to stay an extra day or something, like we've gone to Sewell Park a couple times. We went tubing on the river and that was really fun.
The Student Rec Center will be open throughout the break and will be offering lifeguard classes.
It's going to be 12 to 8 is going to be our hours throughout the day. Pretty much our busy times are always going to be right around, it's always after lunchtime, right around like 4.
Sewell Park's Outdoor Center will be closed next week, but students can still rent equipment.
We will be open March 9th all day, and we will be renting out our equipment to people during spring break. So if anyone wants to come like pick up a tent or pick up any camping gear to take with them on their excursions over the break, you can come and pick up some gear. On the 9th, we're open until 6.
If you don't have plans for this upcoming spring break, there are plenty of things to do on campus, and if you feel like making the drive to Austin, the South by Southwest Festival will be in town. For Bobcat Update, I'm Trista Castillo.
My name is Madison Tapman. I'm 19 years old and I'm from Dallas, Texas. My major is performance and production, emphasis in acting, and I chose Texas State because it has a really strong theater program that's on the rise in the nation. Ever since I was a young kid, I've always loved performing and singing and acting and dancing. And all throughout high school, I really enjoyed getting involved in that, and I chose to make that my major. I'm involved in a show called Blood Brothers through the Spotlight Theater here in San Marcos. It's a musical, a very dark musical, dark but funny. It's about a mother who is very, very, very poor, and she keeps on popping out more kids and just can't control it, just never stops. And her husband leaves her, but leaves her with the gift of being pregnant, and she doesn't know how she's going to pay for this child. And then she finds out it's not just one child, it's 2. She's pregnant with twins. She works for a wealthy woman and ends up making a deal and giving one of the twins away. And the play showcases the twins growing up and becoming best friends without even knowing that they're brothers with each other. And my character's name is Linda. She is the love interest of, turns out to be both the twins. So the show is actually really interesting in the fact that my 19-year-old self, will be playing my character's 7-year-old self. So I'll be running around the stage sounding like a 7-year-old and throwing tantrums, and and it showcases our life from 7 up to I think 25 or 26. My whole family's musical. Every one of us plays an instrument. It was not required, but you'd be left out on family night if you didn't play an instrument. We'd always have family jam sessions on Wednesday nights. I think that was the day. But like I would sing, and my mom would play the guitar, and brother would play the bass, my sister would play the violin. Like we'd all just come in. So in my family, you had to pick something up or else you'd be left out. And that had a big impact on why I chose this music and performance route, because that's just what I was surrounded by my whole life. My mom has always been the biggest cheerleader in my whole music career. She's always been the #1 supporter of me and has sacrificed a lot to put me where I am today. And she put me through voice lessons, drove all around town for my performances, and never missed a show. And she really did a lot with making sure I stuck with what I wanted to do. A lot of parents discourage their children from coming to this path in college, especially if they're helping finance it, because it's viewed as a waste of money or a waste of time or a useless degree. But she really made sure that I wanted to be here and I wanted to do it, and because I did and was so strongly about it, and she believed in me so much, she encouraged me to take this path. in this industry, you deal a lot with jealousy and bullying and a lot of people just trying to put you down to bring themselves up. And I remember in high school I almost gave up my performance career altogether because I was bullied throughout high school because of my singing, and that because I kept on getting cast in things even though I was a newcomer and people didn't like that. So I almost did quit and almost didn't take this route because it is really hard to keep going when you have someone like banging you down on the ground. But again, that's where my mother came in, and she helped me get through that time and helped me remember that it doesn't matter what other people think of me, it just matters about how I think of myself and if I'm proud of what I'm doing, which is why I stuck with this path. From a young age, there's nothing like the feeling of performing on a stage, getting up in front of people and the adrenaline that pumps through you, because it really is a really intense thing. And when you're taking on a character, no matter what character it is, when you become that character, it's just a whole different, it's like a surreal feeling, because all of a sudden your thoughts aren't your own anymore. The things you would normally say, you wouldn't say, because you have to get in that mindset. Anything could go wrong at a performance, and you have to be able to improvise the way your character would. And just the feeling of becoming a whole other person is just, it's a lot of fun, honestly. But then there's the aspect of the adrenaline pumping, and it's kind of like a high, like it's the same as people who go skydiving or bungee jumping. It's the feeling of just that adrenaline that just hits you. And then there's the bond with the people. There's no better, I've never bonded so closely with people other than when I do shows with them. Because when you think about it, you're with these people every day of the week for like 2 hours a day, and not only are you yourself becoming super close with them, but your characters are having relationships with each other or having feelings towards each other, and it just really creates this bond between each other that only you'll understand.